Shit! Emma grabbed a napkin from her glove box and made a futile effort to dry herself off. Now her clammy t-shirt was clinging to her skin, but at least there was no more water dripping down her legs. She eased her foot off the brake. "Nice driving, asshole!" She called out her window to the truck that was already out of sight. Then she rolled past the broken sign and into town. "Oh, thank goodness," she blurted, through something between a laugh and a sob. Lights glowed inside the inn, and Emma could hear the sounds of laughter and music and the chaos of the Woods family inn. The best chaos around. She loaded a reluctant tabby into her pet duffel and zipped him in, leaving her small suitcase for after she got the cat settled. This is a good sign, Pea-Cakes. A really good sign. If the inn had guests, that meant the town wasn't as bad off as it seemed from the outskirts. It meant she'd worried the whole drive down for nothing. It meant she could spend some quality time with her parents for a few days and then head back to Chicago and rescue her plants from Hattie's murderous hands. She laughed as she took the steps to the porch 2 at a time, not letting the splintered banister bother her because everything was fine. She ignored the window shutter torn from its hinges, lying on a smashed Adirondack chair. The inn buzzed with warmth and excitement. So what if her clothes were soaked and her phone possibly destroyed if her parents' livelihood was still intact? Emma wrapped her palm around the door handle, pressed her thumb against the latch, and strode inside. She ducked as a bird dive-bombed her head, shrieked as something that might have been a guinea pig or might have been a rat scurried over her flip-flop-clad feet, and threw herself back against the door as a child whizzed by on a razor scooter. "What the actual Ems!" her father cried as the guinea pig, or possible rat, scrambled back toward her as he chased it with an open box. He stopped to catch his breath and plant a hurried kiss on her cheek. "Watch the front desk, will you?" he asked. "I have to catch Goose for Mrs. Pinckney. He got out of his cage again." "Goose?" Emma's head swam. "Mrs. Pinckney?" The weather had settled, but the inn felt like a cyclone of its own. "You know, Mrs. Pinckney's chinchilla, Goose." He threw his hands in the air, the box still in one. "I'll be right back, sweetheart. Promise!" He took off again, but not before she could yell, "But why are Mrs. Pinckney and Goose here?" "Whole town is," her dad called over his shoulder. "Most of it, at least. I'll explain everything as soon as Hey!" His voice grew further away, but Emma could still hear him shout, "You get back here, you pain-in-the-ass furball!" Emma moved slowly past the reception area and into the small lounge, wading through a sea of welcoming neighbors, their children, and apparently their pets. The inn was alive and kicking, but it was all due to the tornado's damage and destruction. She stood amid the din, Pancake's carrier slung over her shoulder, the moisture from her wet clothes seeping into her skin. Her family's inn, now a temporary residence for much of the town. Welcome home, indeed. Chapter 2. Mateo Rourke had only planned to go back to Summertown for a week, a month at the most, to keep his father's business afloat after a back injury laid him up. Mateo's brother, Levi, couldn't leave his job in Indiana. He didn't have the same flexibility Mateo did. Not that Mateo was bragging about the flexibility of only being able to work odd jobs any place someone would hire a convicted felon. Wrongful accusation or not, he had a record. Pleading his case to potential employers or the neighbors who used to feel like family didn't matter when a court of law said otherwise. So he'd weathered being fodder for the rumor mill for a good month before the talk about Mayor Green's wife leaving him for the mayor of Middlebrook graciously took over the spotlight and allowed Mateo to settle into what should have been a temporary existence. 1 month turned into 2, and 2 into 3. Now, here he was a year later, donning a Rourke Pest Control Carhartt shirt and driving his dad's old but still running white pickup to and from calls to do everything from setting mouse traps to removing birds from oven vents. This evening, though.